Born in the Bronx, you're a big Yankee fan. Welcome aboard, Damian Priest. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, man.
All right, so you're a legit Yankee fan. We're talking about that. We'll get into them in a little bit. First, the wrestling. And I just watched, I was telling you this off the air, just went back and watched your, I guess you call it documentary. It's part of a series that they have on Peacock, and it's great to get some insight. I was not familiar with your work at all. Dude, you have come a long way. You're like a different person than the one that you started out with, wrestling, out of shape and all that stuff. Speak to how long it's been. I know everybody just sees you. You had the success. You're a champion. You're going to be wrestling at SummerSlam, all that stuff, WrestleMania. They don't see the work that goes in. How many years have you been putting in work behind the scenes to finally get to the pinnacle of the sport?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's funny how on WWE, I've been here 5 years since I debuted on Monday Night Raw, and it feels like an eternity, but it's only been 5 years. But I've been wrestling for 21 now, actually.
And you were in Ring of Honor, right?
I was in Ring of Honor before WWE, and then just independents in the Northeast primarily, and then that was it. I just, but you know, like you saw in the doc, I coasted a lot of those years, so you know, it wasn't until I kind of just woke up one day and was like, man, I got to really work for my dream, huh? What a thought! And I did it, and then you know, I lost like 200 pounds, and it was a crazy ride, but it ended up in the right place at the right time in the end.
One of the things that jumped out to me was, and it wasn't that your father was negative about you pursuing the career, but he didn't believe that it was possible that you could be or that you would become that star. How much did that drive you as a young kid?
Yeah, it wasn't just him. It was like my mom was trying to convince me to get a normal 9 to 5. My sister, my brother-in-law, like just everybody. Of course, it's the worst thing is somebody telling you it's not going to happen. You can't do that.
Especially your parents. Like, that's a tough...
Yeah, and for them, they just... Because I was struggling. And they just didn't want to see me struggle, so they wanted me to do something else that was guaranteed. This wasn't... Obviously, there's no guarantee. So for them, it was kind of like, do something else. I think you should do something else. And for me, it was like, no shot. Like, this is... Like, I truly believe that I was born to do this job. Like, this was the only thing that I saw myself doing in life. Like, I'd be miserable doing anything else, unless I was a baseball player. But that was definitely off the table. So I was like, I got to be a wrestler.
All right. So then at what point did you believe that even when you were at maybe your lowest? I mean, there was a point you said you were basically homeless pursuing your dream to be a wrestler. You've always believed that no matter what, maybe even lacking the self-awareness, not being in shape or not knowing what it would take. You've always felt that even with people saying no and even with you knowing maybe you weren't in the best of shape?
Even when I was lazy and complacent, I truly believed that this is what I was supposed to be doing. I was just doing it the wrong way. You know, and it took me, like I said, it just one day I just kind of flipped the switch. And
well, what was the key for that?
Funny enough, it was random. It could have been any other week, and my answer probably would have been different. But I used to run a club in Atlantic City, and I was set up. I mean, I didn't have anything. I had nothing saved, nothing to my name. But because of the job, I had a free apartment on the boardwalk in AC. I had a company vehicle, so I had a car. You know, and I had a job, and they wanted to give me more responsibility, and they wanted me to stop, doing that. And this is quoting the owner at the time. He said, "I want you to stop doing that wrestling thing you do sometimes on the weekends." And for whatever reason, that day it hit me a different way, and I was like, "You have my 2 weeks' notice." Now, after I did that, I was like, "Oh no,"
right?
Because I have nothing and nowhere to go. But it was kind of like that push of, all right, if I'm gonna give this up, I really got to be honest with myself in the mirror. And that's literally what happened. And then from there on, there was no excuses. No, I'm telling everybody I'm trying, but I'm not really. No, it was like I have to tell people like, hey, you're working harder. And I'm like, actually, this week I was pretty lazy. Like I had to start being honest. And the moment I did that, you realize how many times you don't want to give that answer. So you actually work hard.
That's one of the things that I loved about it in the doc is that you called yourself lazy. You quote said, not a good human being, that you were not. Now, explain that to me, because you didn't really go into detail on that. What did that mean, saying you're not a good...
So to me, I'm a big fan of treat people how you want to be treated. We hear that, you hear that from your parents, but it's real. At the time, I was so miserable with myself that I treated others hardly. And I look back now and I think about how I treated people, how I talked to people. Man, you talk about having regrets. That's my biggest regret, was being a bad person to other people for no reason. And now, like, one of the most prideful things about me now is how I treat people. I'm so happy that I'm nice to everyone. I try to be as kind as I can be to anybody, even sometimes when I don't need to be.
BT and Sal on the Fan. We're in studio. Damian Priest ahead of SummerSlam coming up. MetLife Stadium, August 2nd, August 3rd. We'll get to the Yankees. I know you're a big Yankee fan. We'll get to them in just a little bit here. The dieting and working out. Like I said, you were two different people.
Yeah.
And I can relate a little bit just because I used to be really, really fat. I'm kind of soft now because I kind of let myself go a little bit. But you were actually motivating me to get back on track. But dude, what you are now and what you've become, not only just physically, but you could see that kind of also helped the mental aspect of it. Okay, the switch flipped, fine. What about the diet, the exercise? Like, that's a pretty significant change to go from where you were to where you are now. How did you work out? How did you clean up the diet? How did you get into the specifics of that?
Well, a lot of that was, like I said, when I was miserable, right? So then I didn't care. I would just eat everything, and then I could see myself in the mirror, and then I'd be like, I'll be all right. You know, or maybe I'll hide at this, wearing this, and
right.
I'll work out tomorrow. I'll get better later. You know, it was just that. I don't even understand how I got to that point. But when I decided to change, and I decided to be positive, and everything had to be positive. Like, you could do anything, and obviously that there's always a bad side, but there's always something positive you could take out of any situation. And it was like, if you just focus on that, you just keep moving forward. It's not that automatically the power of positivity gives you everything you want in life. It's the idea that if I don't think about the negative side, I'm not wasting my time being miserable. I could just keep moving forward and keep working to what I want. And that's how positive things and good things happen and opportunities come. But along with that was the idea of stop waiting to eat healthier later. And I didn't have help, so it took me a while to learn everything.
You had to figure that out on your own?
Yeah, but I basically started with common sense. Look at a label. Every food, everything you buy has a label. Clearly, I know this is not good for me. Don't eat it. Clearly, this is healthier for me.
Based on the ingredients you're talking about, or just
like the label, you know, just what it says, the sugar,
right.
carbs. So, like, you look at it, and it's like, clearly, this box of Oreos isn't good.
Right.
This grilled chicken is. You know, it was one of those things, just using common sense and just stop. Like, no more junk food, no more sweets, and I have a really bad sweet tooth to this day. It's still an ongoing process with me where my weight does still fluctuate. But
interesting.
But it's a constant, struggle. But because I'd like to almost give in sometimes and like have that sweet, and then as soon as I do it, I'm like, why did I do that?
It's got to be though easier now and harder than when you don't have the right. Like now, at least you're at the point where we want to be, and now you got to be maintaining it, and you also have all the information. I'm sure you got high end. I would think the WWE hooks you up with like all the information and the workouts and all those different things that you would need. Back then, to work your way up, that's the hard part.
Yes,
and you figured that out on your own, man. That is a testament to how bad you wanted it. Taking accountability, looking in the mirror, saying, nope, something's got to change. Not just somebody telling, I'm sure other people have said, along the way, whatever, dude, you got to do this, or you're being lazy, but you holding yourself accountable like that's a huge thing that changed your entire life.
It did change my entire life. And it was basically like just the realization, work for your dream, because nobody else is going to work for it for you. And that alone made me change everything, the way I viewed everything. And fortunately for me, because you could do everything the right way, but it's real life, right? Like, just because you do everything the right way doesn't mean you're going to get everything you strive for. But when I changed, I also said, look, this is my dream. I want to make it to WWE. But even if I don't, there's got to be cool moments for my life on the just trying. Just that road of trying to make it, you got to experience really cool things in life, being, just working hard for it. So for me, I became happy. Like, I stopped being miserable, became happy. And there was actually a point where I didn't think I was going to make it to WWE, just because they had turned me down a few times. But I was okay with it. I was like, it's not going to change who I am now. Just because they're saying no doesn't mean, okay, I'm going to let myself go and I'm going to go back to being miserable. I was like, okay, well, I'm still going to continue being happy and wrestling. At least I'm wrestling, and at the time I signed with Ring of Honor, so I was doing okay mentally. And then, crazy enough, that when I gave up with the idea that of trying, like, they're probably not going to hire me, they called me.
Right, then that's what it comes in. Talking with Damian Priest in studio here, BT and Sal on the film. We'll get back to your calls in a little bit. How cool is it? Because like I was telling you before, I grew up watching, Hogan. I'd say WrestleMania 3-ish, from about 86 or 87 through about 92. You probably started a little bit later, I would think, a little bit younger. And I remember you referencing The Undertaker and putting the Warrior in the coffin.
Yep.
Was a pivotal moment for you as a fan. Here's the difference with you or I. you were now a wrestler and you became friends with the freaking Undertaker and you're training with him. Like, how wild is that from the kid who was watching the Undertaker bury the Warrior in that coffin to then becoming friendly with him, having him watch your matches and training with the Undertaker?
Even you saying it right now, it's crazy how, like, some things don't change. It gets me excited just hearing it. Yeah. What is life? You know,
dude, that's insane.
When you have you start off as a fan and you have an idol, and then that idol becomes one of your mentors. It's crazy. And he's not the only one. I have a few of those that are around, and they give me advice and people I looked up to. But Undertaker obviously was the main one. So to this day, that's just wild to me that this is real life, and I'm just grateful, man.
It's the greatest thing ever. I had that. Are you a fan of the fan? I know you grew up you were born in the Bronx, but grew up in Dominican?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, I'm sorry.
And then back to the Bronx.
And then back to the Bronx. And what age did you come back in the Bronx?
10.
10, okay. Are you familiar with WFAN at all growing
Yeah.
up? Okay. So like Francesa for me, that was my guy.
Yeah, that's what I
Mike and the
listened
Mad
to.
Dog. He was my idol. I get to know him a little bit, so it can relate. All right.
Ah, that's cool.
So Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny, that was a huge thing for you. You still friends with Bad Bunny or what?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still good with him. How about that when you get to a point where you're working with this mega superstar from Puerto Rico as well, and they put you two together to go to the highest stage and be on at WrestleMania, and that was really your first big moment in WWE, right?
So up until that point, I had a lot of good opportunities, a lot of cool moments in my career. But obviously, I had teamed with Bunny at WrestleMania previously. And then this event was Backlash in Puerto Rico. And there was a thought that maybe it should have been a tag team match or, possibly moving WrestleMania. Backlash. And then, Bunny and I were just adamant of, no, we want to do a one-on-one match on the island, representing our culture, but not just for Puerto Rico specifically, it's just Latinos in general. And what we were able to accomplish, that's it is my favorite match, not because of the outcome, not because of just the quality, which was, we shocked everybody by over-delivering. But it's what it meant culturally and what we were able to do. I was very proud of that one.
For Puerto Rico, you're saying, or just in general?
In general.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, directly for the island was big, and we're proud of that.
Right.
We're very proud Puerto Ricans.
You go back there often?
I'll be there this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll be there this weekend.
Family there
to
still?
see Bad Bunny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like to hang out, or he's going to do a concert?
I'm going to go to his concert.
Look at that. That's great.
Yeah.
See, I was wondering, watching the doc, I was like, all right, well, the Bad Bunny thing and the country tie-in, all that stuff, but he's such a mega star, even though you're a huge star, too. You know what I'm saying? Like Bad
No,
Bunny.
he's on a different level.
Yeah, okay. As long as we get it, man, I don't want to offend you.
Not even close. No,
right,
no.
so then, like, at what point is he just like, oh, Priest, like, yeah, I worked with you a little bit, but, like, I'm Bad Bunny, I'm on a different level, I'm dating the Kardashians, whatever it may be, but you're still boys with him. So
he's a very humble, knows where he came from, never forgot type of guy, and we're very similar in that sense. So we hit it off. As soon as we met, we hit it off, and we became cool.
Yeah, that's got to be challenging working with a star like that. Well, you're still trying to find your way, and even after that, you still weren't fully yourself. All right, we'll get into more of that, your career, but I definitely want to get into the Yankees. Well, you know, your Yankee season ticket holder. You're probably dying to talk Yankees on the fan. We will do so when we come back. Damian Priest in studio. And Damian, before we get back to our interview here, this is Tommy Lugauer. He's a big wrestling fan.
Nice to meet you.
He goes by the nickname of Positive Tommy. So when I saw it for the second time, I watched that documentary I was telling you last night preparing for today, and I saw you reference for the second time the power of positivity. You said it just before with us. Well, this is like his gimmick. He's all about the power of positivity. Tommy, what do you think of the power of positivity? Damian Priest saying it worked for him in real life, like it's a real thing, and you get a lot of flack for that, by like myself included. But speak to the power of positivity to Damian Priest, who also believes in the power of positivity.
Yeah, I think this is a huge moment on WFAN as Positive Tommy meets Positive Priest. You never know.
That's
You want
the first time for that.
change up the gimmick a little bit.
Oh,
but
that's good.
Yeah, so basically, as a sports fan, I'm a Met fan and a Knicks fan, Giant fan. I hadn't
He's
seen a
Knicks
lot
and
of
Giants too, by the way. We'll get into that.
Awesome.
So he's Yankees, Knicks, Giants.
So it really started with the Met stuff because I feel like a lot of the fan base is negative. And we sort of wait for the other shoe to drop, and it's woe is me, and it's a Yankee town, and whatever. And even in this business, I feel like there's a lot of negativity, and we sort of thrive on that negativity. So about a year ago, I just woke up and said, on the air, and as a fan, I'm just going to be positive. I'm going to be positive, Tommy. I'm always going to look at the positive side and preach the power of positivity because I can control that. I can't control if the Mets are going to win. I can't control if the Knicks are going to win, but I can control the way I react to it. And all of a sudden, the Mets last year, I'm not saying there was necessarily a tie into it, but if you want to give me credit for it, you can. They had a million gimmicks. But the Mets went on this run, and they went to the NLCS. And I think a lot of people started buying in on the don't give up. Like, there's always going to be these ups and downs, and I think you're like a great story, dude. You got like your break. Like, I know you were like, what, around 42? I'm 39. So, like, and I feel like now I'm getting a little bit of a break. So it's like, I think it's such a great message to people, like, don't ever give up. If you have, like, this is the only place I ever wanted to be. And people are like, oh, you stink, you're this, you're that, go answer a phone call, you're not this, stuff like that. Yeah. Sal hears it all the time. Sal's the oldest guy.
So then my question off of that, Damian, would be, you're a sports fan as well. Do you keep that same positive thought process when watching your favorite teams?
Yeah, at least I try to. In the moment, sometimes you react with that knee-jerk reaction, right? But then, I always think about a big picture right after, and it's like you said, thinking even in a loss is like, well, I had a good time, hung out with my boys, I had some good times and whatever. Then you start thinking about that, and it's like, oh, let's do this again.
Right.
If you focus on the loss, then you're focusing on what you're not going to do instead of what you can do tomorrow. You know what I mean? So that's why it's not a sense of just because you're positive, you win at life. No, it's just you're just better prepared to keep moving forward. And if you're moving forward, you're bound to have a higher percentage of success in life just by proceeding with life.
All right, give me a second here, if I may. I'm getting pounded by positivity on each side of me, but I'm hearing that after a loss, I'm supposed to be okay with it.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, you said that?
I didn't say be okay with a loss. I said I'm just not going to focus on it. I'm going to think about this, and this is what I'm going to talk about.
Right, like we were at the game and had a great time anyway, so forget the fact that they lost. Let's just talk about that.
For instance, I was at Citi Field for the Yankees Mets on the 5th of July.
Okay.
We lost.
You lost.
Yeah. As in me.
We won.
Right. I wish I would have won Sunday.
Right.
But what I took away from that game, like, and even after, I'm hanging out with my friends. Half of them are Mets fans, and they're super happy. They have their Mets gear on, their swag on. But we were talking about how much fun we were having, and that's what I was focusing on. Because if not, then I'm going to be miserable.
All right. So here's the real challenge in this. Give me the positive, Damian, from a Yankee fan perspective with Juan Soto going to the Mets.
Oh, we got to stack up a full team instead of just one player.
Look at it, without hesitation. You don't have no problem with Soto choosing the Mets?
Of course I did. Of course I would have preferred him to stay with the Yankees. But when he left, and especially when the Yankees started making moves, and we got Bellinger and Fried, I was like, oh, wow, he did us a favor.
Oh, you're not alone.
Like, look. He helped us get to the World Series. He very much did. But even with him in the lineup, we didn't win. So we had to improve the team anyway. And I think he did us a favor where we can improve a lot but in other areas. Now, granted, you can never, count for injuries and whatever. But overall, I think the team is actually, with everybody healthy, imagine everybody's healthy and playing to their potential, it's a better team than it was last year.
How about that answer for positivity, Tommy? What do you think?
I mean, you had it right there at the top of your brain.
I know.
mean, that's really been the Yankee thing, the plan B. It's better, but they miss. They're going through the 7 stages of Soto grief, Sal. We know that.
I know, I get it.
I don't know about that, man. Like I say, I'm actually totally okay with it.
Yeah. I think a lot of Yankee fans are. At least I need
At first, it was, it was like, it hurt, of course. But because I think it was just that he looked so comfortable and the fans felt so comfortable cheering for him. And that 1 year with that Yankee uniform, it just felt like, oh, this is actual fit. And then when he just left, it was like, oh, no. So I think that it was more of the love that I think hurt Yankee fans, that they felt for the player. But when you think about it, like I said, I honestly believe we're a better team.
How far back do you go as a Yankee fan? I know you have season tickets now. I saw in the documentary your brother all up into Yankee stuff, and you see Yankees all over your family there. How far back? Like, give me a favorite player, or what year maybe you start really getting into the Yankees?
I can't remember a specific year. I remember the first game I ever went to, and what I fell in love with the game and the Yankees was, I believe they may have played Baltimore. I can't remember, but basically they won 1-0 off of a Don Mattingly home run. He hit that home run, and the place erupting, I was just in awe of the atmosphere. And I was like, this is the greatest thing. And then I became a giant Yankee fan from there on out. I couldn't wait to watch the next game.
You get to go to a lot of games? I know your schedule is demanding.
Whenever I can.
Did you go to the World Series?
I got to go to one game. I did their hype up voiceover video for the first home game that they did.
Wow.
I got to go to the game that they actually won, which was cool.
All right, that's nice.
But that was really cool. And being that now I'm actually like the Yankees invite me to do so. Like they hit me up and asked me to do that. You know, it wasn't like WWE was trying to get them to get me to do something. Like they're actually wanting me to do stuff with them. And every time I go, they try to put the camera on me to hype up the crowd. Like they treat me like gold, and because they know I'm an actual fan. The first time I went was right after I won the world title last year.
Yeah.
And like the first time that they had me on the field, and I met Judge and met all the players, they were like, "This is a first for us. We're not used to having to." Like, we used to giving people tickets and a jersey. Like, you brought your own jersey and you have your own tickets. They're like, this is the most convenient celebrity that we've had here. And I started laughing. And I was like, yeah, I'm a real one.
Have you become friendly with any Yankees? Like, are they fans of yours and follow your craft?
Yeah, there's a lot of sneaky wrestling fans in baseball. Not just on the Yankees that I found out lately, which is cool. But yeah, at least I got to conversate a lot, especially that day, and because I go there so much. I got to talk a little bit with Judge. I got to talk a little bit with Soto too, and Volpe. At the time, Nestor, when he was there, still every once in a while message each other, which is pretty neat. Trevino, the same thing. Sucks that they're not on the team anymore, but it's cool. Like they're still fans of mine. I'm still fans of theirs, and it's pretty cool that this job allowed me to make these relationships, and especially with the Yankees organization as a whole, it's pretty neat.
You feel good about the Yankees' chances here in the second half?
Well, let's see what moves we make. I'm positive that they're going to do what they have to do.
See this positive stuff.
And guys are coming, as people come back from injuries. Look, I still think we're still right there in the running, and I think a few moves and getting everybody healthy, I don't see why they can't repeat and go make it back to the World Series.
Now, will you watch, I know you got to go to the wrestling and the travel and all that stuff, and there's a lot of games to watch, and there's a lot of wrestling and stuff like that to watch. So even if you can't actually go to Yankee Stadium or maybe see them on the road, depending on where you're traveling, will you make it a point to watch as many games you possibly can?
I always. I'll be in the locker room sometimes, and I'm carrying around my phone while I'm warming up, getting ready to go out to the ring. And instead of focusing on that, I'm just watching the 8th inning, and it's a close game. And I'm like, oh man, can somebody go before me so I can have a few more minutes?
So we were teasing it before a little bit. By the way, Tommy, you got to see the documentary. If you're a big wrestling fan, have you seen the Priest documentary?
I'm familiar with your story, and I'm a big fan, watch a lot of stuff, so I've seen you come up. Shout out to Punishment Martinez. So I know your journey. I have not watched the documentary. There's a lot of wrestling, there's a lot of sports, but I mean to watch it for sure. Yeah, definitely going to check it out.
You should definitely watch it. It's a great story. Even to a point where even just a non-wrestling fan can appreciate, as I was talking about before, man, to come from where you did, being out of shape and holding yourself accountable and being lazy and then turning it around, it's an incredible life story. But even with that success and then getting to the WWE and having the success, there still was something missing. And it felt like you were either afraid to fully be yourself, maybe trying to be what you thought that they wanted. At what point and how did it click for you to fully become the success story that Damian Priest has become?
So you said it right there. It was what I thought they wanted me to be. And I remember my boss, Triple H, came up to me one day and he was like, the day you stop trying to pretend to be you and you're just you, you're going to make a lot of money in this business. He goes, Undertaker told me the same advice. And he goes, I know it's weird, right? Because how's somebody telling you how to be yourself, that you're not being yourself, you. It is but one day it will click. And sure enough, one day it just did. And I remember I was in a match in NXT with Finn Balor. And that was the first time that I felt that it clicked. And then I got called up to the main roster. And then somehow I ended up going down that road again of trying to be what everybody wanted me to be. And then same thing again, Triple H just being like, you're tense. You're holding back. Just let loose. Who cares? He goes, I'd rather tell, when you get back to the curtain, tell you, hey, relax, don't do that, or you're going too far, than tell you, hey, man, I need more from you. And the moment he said that, it was another one of those things of, okay. Obviously it helps when you have your friends around you. So being in the Judgment Day, that helped my confidence a lot. Just having them in the ring with me, whether I was talking or just in a match, it was like I just fed off of them. And then it was just this calm and smoothness that I just started to feel. And that was a game changer.
Is the peak moment for you still winning that championship? Cashing in the Money in the Bank?
It's hard not to top. As far as like an achievement, this is what we work for. Is winning a title at WrestleMania. That's getting your ring, your Super Bowl ring, your World Series ring. You're holding that trophy up in the air. That's what that is, and that's what you dream as a kid trying to make it. It's like that'd be cool to have that moment. One part is making it, the other part is having a moment like that nobody can take away from you. So yeah, 100% winning the world title at WrestleMania in front of 70,000 in Philly, it was crazy.
And we should note you have more titles than the Yankees have had since 2009, of course.
Since 2009.
Yeah, I'm not going to go beyond that, Davey. Come on, I'm stupid.
But all time, yeah, they still have more titles than me and everyone else.
Well, how many other championship belts have you held? Was that the only one? I thought you held some other.
So I'm a 2-time undisputed tag team champion.
Okay.
So that's 4 titles right there.
Okay.
And then I'm a former United States champion and a former North American NXT champion.
Is it rare for somebody to have as much success as you have had later in life, I guess, with age numbers? I'm not really, usually it's younger guys who would come up or I guess experience the success maybe sooner than you have. Is that rare in your business to have you have the success you've had at your age?
Yes, like there's others, don't get me wrong, but it's not as common. So 100%, it's definitely on the rare side, especially when you get into the game or make it to this company, because it wasn't like I wasn't doing it. It was just I wasn't in this company. Right. But getting to this company later and then achieving what I have, and it's literally just like 5 years. It's crazy the amount that's happened in 5 years, but it feels like I've been here way longer.
And 5 years is a good run. Like that, I know it's 5 years. It seems like you said it's short, and it's only been 5 years, but that's a pretty good run to be a top guy in the top company in the world in wrestling.
Yeah, it's not that common, put it that way. So I'm definitely fortunate and grateful for that, to be in the position that I'm in.
You're obviously doing something right outside of being a Yankee fan. You're fine with me. Come on, man. I got nothing.
I get it.
Damian, we appreciate the time. We're going to try to come check you out at SummerSlam. Buy the tickets today. They're on sale. SummerSlam, August 2nd and August 3rd at MetLife. That's got to be a thrill for you. I know you're not officially announced, but being in MetLife, New York, Grand Stage, you've wrestled at the Garden, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen you at the Coliseum for Saturday Night Main Event last December. What about MetLife Stadium? Have you wrestled there before?
I have not.
And you're a big Giants fan.
Yes.
You get to go home and wrestle at your Giants Stadium.
Yeah, that for me, as a performer, like doing the Garden was, that's where I grew up going to see wrestling. I used to go to the Garden as a kid, so getting to perform there and main event a show there, it was wow. Now getting the same opportunity to perform at MetLife Stadium, being like I said, a Giants fan, it's one of those things that it's like I get it when other wrestlers get to perform in their favorite players or teams, stadiums, and whatever. Mm-hmm. Like they get so excited. Now I get it because I'm so excited to be able to perform there. Like it's extra special for me.
Does it when do we know the opponent here? You said you don't even know the opponent here, right? We're in all. It's
it's looking like it's pointing towards one person.
Okay,
but since that's nothing confirmed, I don't want to say it's just going to be him because we don't know yet. Okay, you never know what can happen in this business.
But we're 2 weeks out. Like you guys could just do this if it were.
Card subject to change at any point. So.
Okay.
There's WWE, anything can happen. But if it's right now and you're asking me who I want Aleister Black at SummerSlam.
Oh, okay. Have you wrestled with him before?
We've never wrestled.
Really?
No.
And that's going to be a SummerSlam? Do you care which night one or night two? Is there like a difference between that?
So, because of what I told you off air, the type of person I am, I'm a party boy.
Yeah.
I like to go out and have a good time.
Nice.
I'd rather be on Saturday so I don't have to work Sunday. And I could go out and celebrate Saturday night.
I like that. Go get the victory Saturday night, enjoy yourself Saturday night party, hang out Sunday, watch your peers,
exactly.
Watch your friends.
I don't have to work on Sunday.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for you, Damian. We appreciate your time coming in. Good luck to your Yankees, even though I'll be rooting for the Mets. Are you going to watch the All-Star game tonight?
I'm going to try, yeah. I'll be on a plane, so I'll be watching it. Hopefully we got good Wi-Fi.
No Soto, no Sal, but you could watch if you want. I'm boycotting it. All right, Damian Priest. By the way, it's not just MetLife Stadium SummerSlam, August 2nd and 3rd. It's a full-week event here in the local area. SmackDown Friday, August 1st at the Prudential Center in Newark, and then Monday Night Raw, August 4th at Barclays in Brooklyn. Damian, it was a pleasure. Got to have you in soon when BT comes back because he's a big Mattingly fan, big Yankee fan. So we'll get you back in studio, talk some more sports when BT returns.
I have some backup. I have a tag team partner.
I'll tell you, he needs it. Okay. All right. Thanks, Damian. We appreciate your time. We'll come back.